Sunday Baroque Conversations is made possible by the Friends of Sunday Baroque and is produced at WSHU Public Radio in Fairfield, Connecticut. I'm Suzanne Bona. Thanks for listening. Don't miss an episode of Sunday Baroque Conversations. Subscribe on Apple, Google, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please leave us a review. If you want to find out where you can listen to our weekly show, visit our website, sundaybaroque.org, for a station list and our 24/7 stream. Again, that's sundaybaroque.org. Violinist Yanet Campbell Secades is an accomplished soloist, chamber, and orchestral musician. Born in Cuba, she's performed throughout her home country as well as Europe and the Caribbean. The prize-winning musician earned her Master of Music from Memorial University of Newfoundland, and she's currently in the second year of the Artist Diploma program at the Glenn Gould School of the Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto. Yanet Campbell Secades is also one of the soloists featured on the 2023 recording Breaking Barriers with Ontario Pops Orchestra, conducted by Carlos Bastidas. Yanet Campbell Secades joins me on Zoom to talk about her life in music. Hi, and welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, first, congratulations on your recording, Breaking Barriers. It's great.
Thank you so much.
Exciting time for a young musician. So before we get into too much detail about the recording, though, I'd like for you to share how you started playing music. You know, are you from a musical family? Did you start on violin or did you start on some other instrument? How did you become a musician?
Yeah, so actually I come from a musical family. My father, he's a musician as well. He's a viola. He plays viola, but he teaches violin and viola. So when I was really little, I saw him teach all the time students at home. He also used to play with the symphony orchestra of my hometown, Camagüey in Cuba. So yeah, that was all very exciting. From a very young age, I was like, oh, I want to learn the violin. I want to learn the violin. And for me, it was like a game. So it seemed very fun and exciting, which it is. So my dad started giving me my first violin lessons. Actually, to be sincere, my dad started me on the piano. He took me to this lady who used to do lessons in my hometown. So yeah, I think I did like maybe 1 year for piano lessons and like general theory. And then after that, we started with the violin. And yeah, he gave me my very first lessons. And I think I studied with him for like 7 years. So that was very exciting. And inspiring to have him as a teacher.
Wow. It's like the Bach family, you know, this passing on of the tradition.
Yes.
So how and when did you really, I mean, it sounds like you were very excited about music and very engaged in it very young, but how did you know and when did you know that music really is, you know, like your calling? When did you really understand that you have special talent for music?
Well, from studying with my dad from a very young age, he's instilled me the love for music, and the dedication to it requires, I mean, it's all for fun and it's really nice and exciting, but it also requires a lot of sacrifice. You know, when kids were playing on the streets, I had to be playing my instrument, and like sometimes, especially at the beginning, I started on it because I thought it was fun, but then, you know, when I realized I had to actually commit to it and practice every day for a certain amount of time, it wasn't that much fun anymore. So I was like, well, I don't think, you know. But I feel with time, like my dad was really helpful with that. He was very dedicated and he spent time with me, helping me practice and understand that, you know, like I think I had good qualities for the violin since I was little. So it wasn't that he forced me to do something that he thought I couldn't do or anything like that. No, I think he saw something in me and he pushed forward, and I'm very glad for that. But I think it takes a while to understand, at least it took a while for me to understand music and to understand that violin was something I could pursue for, as my career. Especially I feel when I finish university, like when you're in school, you are supposed to do exams, you have to learn certain pieces. So there are some boundaries, to what you do with your instrument, sometimes I feel. And I didn't have too much time to experiment outside of that. So I felt when I finish, that might sound that it's a little bit late, but I felt when I finished university, around 2011, I think, 2015, I was able to just, I spent 2 years out of school just working and putting concerts up on my own and experimenting and playing the things that I really wanted to play. And I felt that's the moment when I kind of realized that, I really love this, and it's so beautiful and so nice to be able to. I feel privileged to be able to play violin and to play, all those incredible pieces by Bach, Beethoven, and all the incredible musicians that we have.
Yeah, yeah. So you talked about your dad obviously being a very important teacher, and this is sort of a two-part question because I'd like you to talk also about some of the other important teachers and mentors that you've had, but also it must have been a very interesting transition from studying with your father for about 7 years, then moving to the next teacher. So what was that like, that transition period?
Well, I studied with him for 7 years, like when I was like, I think it was primary school and high school. And then I seen like the best schools and where the most opportunities was in the capital, Havana. So I live in Camagüey, it's kind of in the middle part of the country. So my dad he had the idea that, it was going to be pretty good for my development to go to the capital and to study with other people who were more maybe, like work where everything was happening, like master classes and guest artists coming all the time to do from other countries to do classes and workshops. So I think that those things happen more in the capital. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think when I was like 13 or 14 years old, I moved to do senior high school in Havana, the capital. And then I started studying with Carmen Maria Vasquez, my first, teacher, different from my dad. And at first I was impressed. She was actually quite young, like maybe on her 20s. So when I first saw her, I was like, how come this lady, that this young lady is going to teach me something new? And I was also so used to my dad, and I thought he was right. So yeah, but it's incredible what you can learn from people, and what people have to offer. It doesn't matter the age. It's just, she was a real artist, and I learned so much from her. Mm-hmm. So I spent 4 years studying with her in the National School of Art in Havana. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I moved on to university in Cuba as well. It's called ISA University of Arts. Also, it's like they are like next to each other, so it wasn't, that was nice. And then at the university, I started studying with Alfredo Munoz, who was my violin teacher throughout my 4 years of university in Cuba. Yeah, so those were my main influences from Cuba. Then in 2018, I spent, after finishing university, my dad wasn't anymore working in Cuba, so he went to work for a few years in the Bahamas, teaching music at the school there. So after I finished university, I decided to join him for a couple of years and experiment the professional work and do concerts and teach students there as well. So that was really inspiring. And during that time, I decided to prepare to pursue master studies, or I really wanted to experience studying outside of, Cuba. I mean, Cuba is great and education is amazing there, but I also wanted to experience, it's nice to get to experience other countries, other methods of teaching, and also other language. I wanted to learn to speak English. So yeah, I thought it was going to be an exciting experience to go and study somewhere else. So I applied to come to Canada, and I ended up going to Newfoundland, Memorial University in Newfoundland, in 2018. So I studied there with Nancy Dan. She was my violin teacher. She's a very renowned Canadian violinist. And it was amazing. It was an incredible experience. I learned so much, and so many opportunities opened up for me. I really appreciated my time with her and my time at Memorial University. It's also pretty. Everyone asks me how come you going from Cuba and you ended up in Newfoundland, so cold, so far away. Yeah, but it was a lovely experience for me, despite of the weather. Of snow, it was a very inspiring experience. I really love the city. It's a beautiful landscape that they have there. So after that, I auditioned to come to the Glenville School in Toronto. Actually, that was in 2020. I should say I made a mistake on my resume. I actually finished my studies at the Glenwood School in 2022.
Oh,
I'm right now, I'm right now in London, Ontario, doing my doctorate at Western University.
oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, so in 2020, I moved to Toronto and I did an artist diploma at the Glenwood School, where I had the amazing opportunity to study with Erica Round, also a Canadian violinist, very renowned, very successful, and Paul Cantor. He's from the United States, and he used to come like once every 15 days to teach us at GGS. So that was something new for me, to study with two different teachers.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an incredible opportunity, it was just, I had never done that. And I was like, what, two teachers at the same time? I'm going to become crazy, but it wasn't actually that. It was very enriching. And I learned a lot from both of them.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm currently in London, Ontario, doing my doctorate. Yeah,
Nice.
that's the latest. And I'm studying with Annette Barbara Vogel, a German teacher, but she's been living in Canada for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also very, very, very nice.
What a rich
Long story.
group, and what a lovely, rich tapestry of teachers and influences you've had, and studying, as you said, concurrently with two different teachers. So a lot of times I've heard of musicians doing this, and they'll often say that one teacher sort of addresses maybe the artistry aspect of things, and the other teacher maybe addresses the technical aspects of things. Is that how you felt it was with your two teachers, or was it a little different?
I think that they were completely different people, and also like different living. Their experiences in music they are both very successful, but I feel their experiences in music have been completely different, and I think because of that they brought different things to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think with one of them I work more on not just on technical aspects. We also work in on musical aspects, but it was more like I remember we were more like, oh yeah, you have to solve this and you have to solve that, since on my position that maybe were not right. And I think the other one was more immersed in the final outcome and in the final products and the bigger picture, I would say, of
Right.
making music. So it was pretty helpful.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to have them both. And sometimes, like, it's not all the time you understand or you get what the teacher is telling you. And because they were teaching different, they were teaching from different points of view, but at the same, it was all you realize that because they are teaching you the right things, and those things are they have in common.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty good. If I didn't understand something with one of them, then I would come to the lesson with the next teacher, and somehow I could get it. Yeah. So we were working two different people with two different points of view, but we were all working towards the same goal.
Good teachers.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your 2023 recording, Breaking Barriers, with Ontario Pops Orchestra and conductor Carlos Bastidas. The recording includes concertos by Johann Sebastian Bach and Antonio Vivaldi, alongside Gustav Holst's St. Paul Suite and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik and Symphony No. 40. Now, Breaking Barriers refers in part to the fact that 3 Black women are spotlighted as the soloists. So what was it like to make this recording, and how did you choose the concerto you played on it, and what do you love about the piece?
Well, it was actually a great experience. Especially, I was explaining in another interview that it's not easy for classical musicians to get to record, especially a concert with as a soloist with an orchestra. So that was like a privilege to be able to do that. It's pretty hard. There are so many, especially here in Canada, there are so many great people, and so so the opportunities are not everywhere. Yeah. So I'm really glad I'm glad and thankful for this opportunity I was given by Maestro Carlos Bastidas, and it was an amazing experience. When you are able to, I don't know, when you're able to forget what you learn in academia, and you are able to become like a professional musician and just enjoy playing music and enjoy playing with other people. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, because there are no words to explain what you feel when you are on stage recording, and also like thinking that, it's not just a concert, like thousands of, or maybe millions of people are going to be able to listen to your recording, and it's something that is there for forever. It's going to exist forever. So that's a very nice feeling that I got from doing the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how about the music? How did you choose the music? What do you most love about the concerto?
Well, I think Maestro Carlos Bastidas was interested in like choosing. I think most of all the concertos are Baroque concertos, and I think I have played this concerto before, and I it's so rich harmonically. I've been always in love with it, so I was really happy to be able to perform it, and I sort of sometimes people when they are like in younger years of when you're learning the violin, is one of the concertos that people tend to learn. So people think, oh, it's a very easy concerto, but now that I'm learning I played it when I was younger, but now that I'm playing again as as a grown up, it's so incredibly difficult, to because it's not just notes. You have to be able to make sense of things, and also to be able to translate what the meaning of the music to the audience, to the people who are listening to you. You have to be able to engage them and to keep them interested. Right. So that's not very easy. So there is a lot of thought that goes into planning your performance, right, to be different, to be authentic, and to bring something, to bring something interesting that people is going to be like, oh, that's something new, like, to keep the audience captivated.
Right, right. Well said. So you also play chamber music. Do you have particular composers or combinations of chamber music partners that you like to perform with?
Well, to be sincere, I've done a lot of solo playing throughout my career. I haven't done as much chamber music. A lot of playing in chamber orchestras, not much, not a lot of, for example, string quartet. I love string quartets, and I would really love to be able to do more of that. I've played violin piano duo, which is also like really incredible, playing all the violin sonatas. It's very interesting for me, and I'm really excited to whenever I can actually do that. But definitely I will. Sorry, I've also played violin, piano, and clarinet trio. That was also a very interesting experience. I've also done piano, violin, and saxophone. Very interesting combination, but also you learn so much from playing with other instruments and trying to that fit, like within the sound of the ensemble. It's so incredible. And if you change, it's still piano and violin, but now it's saxophone. It changes how things work. So that's very interesting as well. But I would definitely like to do more string quartet, because I think it's so amazing, and you learn so. I don't know, sometimes when you think of mastering the art of playing the violin, you think, oh yeah, I just have to practice and, play as much repertoire as I can. But it's not just that. There are so many other things. And I see chamber music is definitely one of those things that people should do in order to master their interpretation and their general understanding of music.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very different orientation when you're playing in a small chamber group like that. You have a different role within the ensemble, and it really is a different sense of collaboration.
So it's so difficult, especially when you play with piano. You do rubato, you play the way you want. Intonation intonation works completely different too. And getting used to playing like in a string quartet, the intonation work is very, very difficult. It's to be able to master that is just incredibly hard, but it's beautiful. Once it happens, it's the result. It's very, very, very nice, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So what are you passionate about right now? What has really just captured your imagination, musical or otherwise?
Oh, that's difficult to say. I feel like I'm right now like exploring myself and, like learning. I don't know, sometimes through life, you realize that you don't know yourself pretty well. And there are these moments where you can kind of have to go on a journey of exploring yourself.
Right.
I have to be sincere. I truly enjoy playing music, and sometimes I take it. In the past, I've taken it sometimes for granted. Not realizing what I have on my hands and how beautiful that is. That I feel like through music you can express your emotions. You can, if you are sad, if you are angry, you can just turn to your instrument and play music, and I feel that not everybody has that opportunity, and I think that's so great. So playing music is definitely one of the things that I'm passionate about. I also enjoy learning languages. So lately I've been spending a lot of time trying to perfection to improve my English. So that's one of the things I've been trying to do. And also I've been trying to learn German. So yeah, I think I love learning new languages, and I would like to speak several of them. So yeah, I'm learning the German now. And it takes a lot of my time because it's quite difficult.
Yeah, wow. Why German? Not French. You're in Canada.
Yeah, it's also I think I was in love with German because of all the great composers, from the German tradition. I also when I was in university in Cuba, we had the chance to we went once to Austria to play at the Mozart festival. It was incredible. We were to play like a Mozart symphony, and also like some Cuban pieces. So that was incredible, and I was so impressed by the level of artistry of the other orchestras and the musicians. And I was so impressed. I actually wanted to go to maybe Austria or Germany to perform to study, because also they have so many great programs that are actually free for music students. So I always consider that as an opportunity. And then I also I go to Germany for a summer festival, and I was also very impressed. It was
Wow.
And I like the city pretty much too. So from that was around 2015. So from there on, I decided I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn other languages, so I started with German.
Wow.
And then now that I'm studying at Western, it was pretty easy they allow students to enroll in foreign language courses. And it wasn't the same with French. I think that you need to have a certain level to start. I'm a graduate student, so I cannot enroll in an undergrad course. So I would have to have a level of French in order to enroll in the school courses. So that's why I'm not doing the French now. But I would love to do it in the future, because here in Canada, I think it would be pretty useful. And it's a beautiful language too.
Right. Well, I think, you're right on the cusp of this very big, exciting performing career, and I can't wait to see what you have next.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting. I'm glad to be able to do this and to also be able to share with people. I think that's one of the biggest things of being a musician, to share your music and what you do with others and have them enjoy. When someone comes and tells you, "Oh, that was so beautiful," like I felt so impressed. It's the greatest feeling.
Yeah, it's incredible to make that connection. So I've been speaking on Zoom with Cuban violinist Yanet Campbell Secades about her 2023 recording Breaking Barriers and her life in music. What a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciated my time speaking with you, and I hope we see each other again soon.
I hope so.